Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2019 with Botev Plovdiv. As you may have seen in the last episode, if you haven't, probably go back and watch it. The season is now over. We are second place, 1 point behind CSKA Sofia, despite the fact that we beat them on the final game of the season. The problem is we could not beat Slavia Sofia, and I imagine there is actually a rivalry between CSKA Sofia and Slavia Sofia. So Slavia Sofia probably not happy with themselves either there. Anyway, the season is over. We've already got some news regarding what's happening next season. It is our transfer budgets, and I don't know what it is yet, so we'll do this together, shall we? Holy hell, £5.8 million transfer budget. £5.8 million. I mean, our wage budget is not massive, but we're still under it. That's a huge amount of money. I have been scraping the barrel in terms of like looking for signings through the summer. I'm like spending 60k on people, things like that. We've now got nearly £6 million to spend. This suddenly gets interesting. The first set of end of season awards has come in then. It looks like these are just the general Bulgarian League awards. So, Player of the Season, Thiago Rodriguez of CSKA Sofia. He scored 14 goals and got 19 assists. I'd probably agree with that. Jerson Cabral from Levski, and then Lashazar Kotev in third place. The player, need I remind you, that my board said was a bad decision to sign him. And then as I press up, you'll see that he won Young Players winner as well. Gabriel Zemyarski in second place, who I imagine wouldn't be our first choice at left back at the start of the season. I was expecting Lazar Marin. Instead, Gabriel Zemyarski was that left back. Lashazar Kotev, 25 games, an average rating of 7.4. Zemyarski getting an average rating of 7.38. Kotev also wins Discovery Player of the Season. I'm going to congratulate you on this award because you, my friend, have done bloody amazingly. Thank you very much. I did become Manager of the Season. I don't know how. I don't know why I've become Manager of the Season. Manager points, I've basically blown everyone out of the water. I'm over 1,000 points ahead of Ferrario Spasov of CSKA Sofia. I don't know what any of this means, but sure, I'll take it. I think that's a bit harsh. Team of the season, just Stanislav Shopov. Just Stanislav Shopov in the team of the season. Bošnevits. Put Bošnevits in there. He's been bloody amazing. Top goal scorer award, Alexander Tonev once again with 16 goals. Thiago Rodriguez with 14. And Christian Dobrev with 13. If he didn't go through his dry spell, he might have won that. He probably should have won that. Now we get to the more interesting awards, or more interesting from me anyway, because this is the Botev Plovdiv Team Awards. So, overall best 11, pretty much what we'd expect, although we didn't really play that formation. But sure, so Sherry in goal, Jonathan, Bošnevits, Terziev and Zemyarski, Moder and Shopov, Vutov, Shopov and Nedlev, and Christian Dobrev up front. Which, I feel like Lashazar Kotev should probably be in there, ahead of Vasil Shopov, and then move Stanislav Shopov up, if that makes sense. Basically, the Young Player of the Season for Bulgaria as a country was not in our Team of the Year. Don't understand that one. End of season awards then, Todor Nedlev getting Fans Player of the Season. I don't know why, I really don't, unless he got a load of assists, which maybe that's what it is. Lashazar Kotev second, Stanislav Shopov in third. Stanislav Shopov would be my Player of the Season personally. Gets himself Goal of the Season as well. Alan Sherry, Signing of the Season. Young Player of the Season goes to Lashazar Kotev. As you can see there, once again, the Team of the Season, which is, it's different. How is this different? I guess that's based on last year as well. That makes more sense. That's fair enough. So Kotev is in this one, but not in the other one. Fair enough. We'll go slightly deeper into stats in a minute, but here's a quick overview. Antonio Vutov and Dobrev getting a top goal score of 18 each. Bošnevits' highest average rating of 7.38, and annoyingly, he will not be returning next season because Lech want to play him in their first team. Nedlev with 16 assists. Kotev with 91 pass completion. Vutov and Dobrev once again with 7 Man of the Match awards. Kotev with 15 yellow cards. That's pretty impressive. And a lot of red cards. Shopov, Zemyarski, Danshev, Kotev and Sivka all picking up a red card. Season review, surely the board must love us, right? The board must absolutely love us. We expected to finish sort of top half of the table. We finished second by 1 point. That must be a good season. And with that in mind, we're going to win the title next year. Okay. Well, yes, Todor. We were literally 1 goal away. We even scored the goal, but it was offside. So, yes, I do think we are capable of it. I don't think... I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit optimistic. Top end. Let's just save it. Thanks, everyone. I mean, you're all really, you need to aim higher. We literally nearly won the league this year round. End of season confidence review from our president, Ivan Yotkov. Yeah, he loves us, basically. Absolutely loves us. Dressing room atmosphere, club finances has gone up from about £300,000 to nearly £8 million. So, yep, you should definitely like that as a businessman. And everyone's now off on their mid-season break. Mid-season? End of season break. That makes more sense. So now, whilst everyone is away on their break, or will be on their break, just want to have a quick look at some of the players. So Alan Sherry was a player that obviously signed at the start of the save. And he was very, very good for us. 14 clean sheets in competitive action, 2 in the Europa League, 12 in the Bulgarian First League, only conceding 24 in 28 games. That, I'd say, is an amazing performance from a goalkeeper who's only 22 years old. My standout player from the defence is the player on loan from Lech Poznan, the Polish central defender, Paweł Bośniewicz. He was superb in every competition he played in. If you look at his average rating, 7.41 across 10 and a bit Europa League games, 7.36 across 26 Bulgarian First League games, a 7.7 in the Bulgarian Cup as well. I mean, he was absolutely immense for us, and I'm desperately trying to sign him, but every single time I try and... This is what I've offered. They accept that, Lech do, but his agent doesn't want to join us. I try and just bring him in on loan. They want to give him a first-team chance next season. I don't think he's coming back. Another player worth mentioning from the back four is Gabriel Zemiarski, the player who, as I said earlier, I was not expecting him to be our first-choice left-back for the season. He stepped up. I think Marin got injured. He stepped up. And we've not looked back. 18 starts, 5 assists, an average rating of 7.38. He's done well for a player who, if I'm perfectly honest, he's not the best, but he's done a really good job for us. And on the right-hand side of our defence was Jonathan, a player who, again, I didn't think he was going to be amazing. I thought he was going to be good. Had a very good year. 7.2 rating, 26 starts, 6 assists to his name. I am looking to possibly bring in a new right-back because the thing I don't like about Jonathan is the fact that he's Brazilian, and that's not me saying anything horrible against Brazilians. He counts as a foreign player, and as you saw from the last episode, Omar Tape is also a foreign player and scored twice on his debut. So I need to try and trim down the foreign player contingent that we have, and I'm thinking Jonathan is a player that I can possibly shift on. He's got a year left on his contract, and it's a player that I can probably replace fairly cheaply as well. Moving on to midfielders then, Lashazar Kotev, who for me was one of our best players behind Stanislav Shopov, a player who, to be honest, I probably have a soft spot for him because I bought him into the club. 7.4 rating over 26 games, 6 goals as well. He did miss a penalty, I think. 4 Man of the Match awards, 10 yellow cards, played 13 times in the Europa League as well, scoring twice. He popped up with some really important goals. He also made a couple of annoying mistakes. I think that penalty miss was a huge one. I think he also scored an own goal. So, yeah, I mean, he's only 22. He is getting a new contract as well because after winning the Young Player of the Season for Bulgaria, I think he probably deserves it. But yeah, Lashazar Kotev, I think, has been one of my standout players for the team this year. Another player that I think has also been pretty good for us, not as good as perhaps some of the other players, is Jakub Moda on loan from Lech Poznan. I'm going to try and extend his loan deal, but I suspect they're probably not going to want to do that either. He got 6.92 over 17 starts in the league, which isn't spectacular, but it's not terrible. His job as a Mazala for the majority of it was basically just pass the ball to someone else. Pass the ball to Vutov, to Shopov, to Nedelev, or maybe back to Kotev. That was kind of his job, and I think he did it pretty well. Our best player in terms of technical ability is Todor Nedelev. He is our most expensive player as well. Had a great season, didn't score as many goals as I'd like, and I think he was hampered somewhat by our really, really hectic start of season schedule, that he was just constantly tired for the first, I'd say probably 20 games of the season, which is why he only started 20 matches in the league. 8 goals and 7 assists though is still pretty impressive. He is wanted by Toronto FC and LAFC. It might be the last we see of Todor Nedelev. My player of the season has to be Stanislav Shopov. Just 18 years old. He's only just turned 18 as well a few months ago. Scored a ridiculous amount of goals. And not only did he score a lot of goals, the majority of them were spectacular. 11 goals in the league, 6 in the Europa League as well. Just 3 assists, bit of a greedy player. I'm perfectly fine with that if you're going to score wonder goals constantly. He has just signed a new contract as well. He had a lot of interest in him for teams like Monaco. I think Arsenal were in there. I think possibly Inter Milan were in there. Big European teams were in for Shopov. Gave him a new deal, basically to try and keep him here as long as possible. So he's still got 4 years left. So we're going to get at least another season out of Stanislav Shopov. You can't mention Stanislav without his brother, who isn't his brother, Vasil Shopov, who he was a victim of circumstance. We played 3 attacking midfielders, and Stanislav was just bloody ridiculous, so I couldn't really drop him for Vasil Shopov. However, despite the fact he only played 22 starts, 14 off the bench, still scored 13 goals. I think that is a ridiculous performance for essentially a super sub. Vasil Shopov's had a great year. He probably deserves a bit more football. Maybe next season he might get a little bit more starts, depending on what happens in the transfer windows. Another player who I'd say overperformed and overachieved is Antonio Vutov. The 23-year-old spent the majority of his season on that left-hand side as a winger, scoring 9 goals in the Europa League, 9 goals in the Bulgarian First League as well. Decent season, and by decent, a very good season. He's one of those players, technically, he's not amazing. Lots of 11s, 12s and 13s in there. Mentally and physically, he's top-notch. Determination, off the ball, vision, work rate, things like that, all really high. Also great agility and acceleration and pace as well for this level of football. I think he's a very good player. And again, this is why Vasil Shopov didn't get a huge amount of opportunities, because of players like Vutov just keeping him out of the team. The final player we'll mention then is Christian Dobrev, the 19-year-old Bulgarian striker with 13 goals in 30 starts in the league, 5 in 14 in the Europa League. Had an absolute ridiculously good season, apart from that dry spell. That dry spell, it came at the worst time. It really did come at the worst time. If he was carrying on scoring goals, just the odd one or two here or there, we would have won the league. Because he stopped scoring goals in games where we needed goals to be scored, games where we ended up drawing, games where we ended up possibly even losing, he stopped scoring in. And I think it cost us. I'm not saying, if he was sat in a room with me, I wouldn't obviously say that to his face, because he's not here and he's not real, he's a computer version of himself. I'm a bit annoyed that he stopped scoring goals. Hopefully next season he can carry on, although he does have Omar Tape now to contend with for that starting position. And there might also be another striker joining in the summer as well. Now, we're going to go forward a little bit in time because I want to see the competition ratings change. I don't know when it happens, but currently you can see we're down in 31st in the list. We have dropped from last season from 27. I'm hoping because of our European escapades, which gives us a 7.75 we will climb. We'll go ahead of Azerbaijan, of Belarus. We'll go ahead of Sweden. Who else will go ahead of whoever that is? Poland as well. So we should jump up fairly, decent amount. And also next season as well, we will lose this 1 point. Or the end of next season, sorry, we'll lose this 1 pointer. So next season we need to do well in Europe. A little bit more news has just come in. The financial summary has taken place. We have got a little bit more money from sponsorship. We've doubled our broadcast revenue. So yeah, everything's going up. Won £7.2 million in prize money. Yeah, turns out a good run in Europe will do that for you. Nedlev, I believe that is Vasil Shopov, possibly his number. Is that Vasil? Maybe Stanislav? I can't even tell. Both the Shopovs are on the list anyway. Baltanov is there, which is a weird one to me. And Antonio Vutov also on that list of top shirt sellers. And our scouting budget is a number. I want to change this. I want to change this to possibly be Europe. It's going to cost us, it's gone from £500 a month to 15 grand. Can't do that. We can't afford to do that. Because I'm really struggling with the scouting. I'm having to do it manually, which is how I've managed to find a couple of Ivorians. But yeah, I don't like the fact that we're only scouting just Bulgaria. And the youth package is even lower. I need more money. More time has passed and more news has happened. We have moved out of our training ground and moved into our new stadium. Hristo Botev. It's now 18,777 capacity. I think we're the only team that play there. Yes, we are. So we will, from next season, be actually playing at a proper stadium and not our training ground, which will be nice. The transfer window has literally just opened. However, this is the news that I'm after. So this is going to be the final little bit of information that we're going to get from this episode. Bulgarian First League has moved up 7 places to 24th. That is exactly what I wanted to happen. And I think I can see there from Rob Watson, Bulgaria rise in European coefficients table as well will be very useful for us. We have moved up 232 places to 132 in the European club rankings. That is a huge rise. That is astronomical. So we've risen up to 23rd. And it does now mean that we get a team into the second qualifying round of the Europa League. It's still not good enough. It's still not ideal because I want 2 teams in the Champions League. But it's better. It means the team who now finishes second this coming season, not the season just gone, will have to skip the first round of absolute nonsense in the Europa League, which was normally against a team from Andorra or something like that. So looking at the list, yes, we are all the way up now into 23rd place. And before we've even kicked a ball, we will be higher than quite a lot of nations because of that huge number that we managed to get last season and the one that is going to drop off at the end of the end of the current season or the next season. Taking a look at qualification places, we're down in 23rd. In order to get 2 teams into the Europa League, or not Europa League, sorry, Champions League, we need to be all the way up in 15th. That is a long rise. We need to get from 23rd to 15th. It's doable. It's probably not going to happen this year or maybe next year, but I think in 3 years' time we should have 2 teams in the Europa League as a nation. That is going to do it for this episode. I'm going to leave it on this screen because there's a little bit of a spoiler of what's possibly going to happen transfer-wise. I have to say that most of those transfer deals there are complete, apart from the one that's worth a lot of money. That's not complete, and I can't see it ever happening because that was my director of football, and he just likes to buy players for fun, and I cancel them just after the contract's been offered. Thank you very much for watching this season summary. I say season summary, player summary, whatever this is, an extra video. If you did enjoy, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back next time for the start of Season 2. Okay, it's not quite over yet this episode. We've just had the Europa League draw as well. We are up against FC Honka from Finland. We will not see that match in a video because I'm expecting we should just batter FC Honka. If we don't, I'm going to be very annoyed. And if we beat FC Honka, we'll be up against Dynamo Tbilisi, Haverfordwest, or Zaria. Dynamo Tbilisi, obviously a very good team from Georgia, probably the best team in Georgia. Haverfordwest, they are Welsh and have no players, okay, and Zaria are from Moldova. So realistically, you have to expect we're going to be up against Dynamo Tbilisi by the looks of it. Okay, now we're done. I'll leave you now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.